welcome to our first installment of Pure Win Figure Photos. I'm Ohki.
And I'm Edi, and this time we will work on a picture to Good Smile Company's prized figure, the Dead Master, from the Black Rock Shooter series. And okay, I wouldn't call this a tutorial because we are no professionals in any way, but I've noticed that our pictures became quite popular, and so I want to decide to give you a short look behind the scenes so you can see what's going on there.
And if you wonder why we are hosting this in English rather than our native language, this video is supposed to be hosted on Ohki and DeviantART, and we decided we could reach a larger audience this way.
Correct. And now I will show you a few stills from our so-called studio to see on what location we work, and my friend Ohki will tell you a short background story to the character.
Yeah. Back in 2007, the artist Hugh posted a picture of an original character named Black Rock Shooter on his Pixiv account. Rio of the band Supercell was inspired by this and wrote a song for the character using the voice of the Vocaloid synthesizer Hatsune Miku. Hugh joined Supercell and created illustrations for a music video to the song. It became very popular, and in 2009 production for an OVA started. Dead Master is the antagonist of this story.
In fact, it became so popular that both the Black Rock Shooter and the Dead Master figures are photographed to death. And if you remember our picture Heavy Rain, one of the most well received we've ever done so far, the idea for this one has to be even more creative and astounding. So there is a lot of work to do, let's dig into it. We start with our big shot down under at the basement. And the cornerstones of the picture will be those both skulls I bite. And this one is supposed to be a coin box, it already has a hole on the bottom. And this one is quite solid, and we have to do a few modifications. Drill a hole into it, drill there holes and there, and yeah. So let's see how this works.
You can do it, Edi. Your drill is the drill that pierces the brain.
This dust can't be healthy.
Skull smoke, don't breathe this. Damn, that's creepy.
Yeah. The reason why we do this is because we want to enlighten the skull from the inner side.
Seriously, this thing is staring into my soul.
Yeah.
Usually we do our best to hide the base when we do a photo shooting. But since the base of the Dead Master is such a major point of the figure, we decided to extend it with this basalt rocks here.
Okay.
And it's done. We have a delicious Sweetie Belle breakfast. Here is it, our main attraction. It's pretty nice that the big scythe is in an extra layer, so it can't be bent or anything. I did my best to polish her up, but she's still a bit dusty here and there because of all the nooks and crannies. I really love the spaces, they have a nice weight to them, so your figures won't topple over at any little movement. If you guys have any tips on maintaining your figures, be sure to post them in the comments.
This is the base we mentioned earlier, and look at this. I found it at the local hardware store. Don't know what it really is, but look at this. It's almost the same. It's the same size, almost the same color. It's beautiful. So we can extend the base with those.
Yeah, we can crack them up.
Yeah. And if you wonder why we have a green background, you will notice at the finished picture you will not see the green background, but we have this for the reflection of the light. So I cannot ensure that none of the light will hit the background, and when it reflects from the background it will be in a green tone. So we use our main color from the picture also for the background. So if you have the main color is blue, be sure that your background is also blue, even if you do not see it in the finished composition. Okay, we finished the skull with green tinted foil so that it can glow if you enlighten it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So now I'll start up to create a new base around the actual base. That I do this in the right way, I use actually my camera to have the right point of view and the right picture frame. So, because if I move the skull over there, it might look nice, but the camera can't catch it anymore.
As you can see, we finished the rough layout for the photo shooting. What's still missing is the tiles on the stones. We will apply that next. And I have to say, it's pretty awesome so far. I love the skulls.
It's a funny scene. First you smack it, then you glue it together.
Stop, hammer time. Here's a little sneak peek how the applied tiles will look. And we will cover the rest of the surface with tiles of that.
And we do this on the bed sheet from a land before our time.
Land before time, yeah.
It was the My Little Pony of our generation.
No, My Little Pony was the My Little Pony of our generation. Good. We need to get the facts straight here.
And what's next?
Well, I guess we start taking the picture, right?
No, not really. There are a few things to cover up that maybe you didn't see at the first sight, but you can clearly see that if you break the tile, that the surface is black, but on the inner side it's gray. And if you take a look at the original base, it's black also inside, so I have to cover it.
Oh, okay. Don't you get paint on my figure?
I hope so.
We also decided to add a slight yellow paint to the tiles. Because if you look here at the tiles of the original base, the white tiles are slightly yellow.
The next thing we want to add is the light, because the light is very important. I created this weird looking table once a while ago, and I use it a lot for figure photos because it's the best size I get. It can be a little larger, but it's okay. And I got this 5 lights, normal table lights you can use on your desk, but I have also studio light and flashlight and all this stuff, but the figures are so small that you need many light spots but less light, because if you use a big studio flash with BAM and it's all enlightened, it doesn't look any good. So I use many light spots and maybe a bigger light for the background, for the background light, and yeah, that's basically this. This is the light setup I imagine. And as you can see, as a little bonus, we add those strings here and there, and the vision is that we tip it while we do the picture, and with a very low shutter speed it hopefully will give a cool effect. Last time we do it with the rain, with the pattern, and shake it a bit, and yeah, hopefully it will work. So, and for the last piece of setup, it's my camera, of course. I use my Canon 5D MK2 with the 90mm tilt and shift lens. The tilt and shift lens because it gives us a little bit more freedom of creativity, since you can tilt and shift it and play a little bit with the depth of field effect, but it's not really necessary to do this, so you can use a normal lens or just a macro lens or something else you find around. Okay, and this is by now the frame we can see if you look through the camera, only in horizontal. I can do this also in vertical, but it looks a little cheesy on video, so like this. And now we will play a little bit with the shutter time to get a much better image. And now we are finished with our shooting. And we take a few more pictures than usually, because this time we work with vibration and stuff, and the outcome is pretty much random. And you cannot decide many things from the camera screen because the camera screen is often lying to you. But so far we pick a few pictures as our favorites, and now we went on to the post-production on the PC. Well, I'm back home at my place and I've already uploaded all the pictures to my PC, and now I will start with the post-production. But before I do this, I will show you the picture out of the camera that we have decided to move on with it. And since I take all the pictures in the camera's RAW format, what I highly recommend for all of you, we can set a huge kind of parameters and create a better looking image than we already had yet. Okay, the last step to finish our photo is the post-production, and this is the picture I got out of the converter, but as you can see there is still some work to do. The glow in the eye socket isn't that intense, I hope for it, because the light was too weak at all. And so I have to take another picture from the same set with more light in it, so it ruined the rest of the picture, but the glow is then okay. And I will blend those pictures together, looks like this, and you can clearly see the difference, especially in this one. Also, the background isn't that good because there is a big dust spot here and also some shadowing here, and this is a nice effect, but I don't like the bluish tint in there. So with a few color corrections and blurs I can easily fix that. Look like this. Didn't seem much of a difference I guess on the video, but there is a big one on the screen. Also there are some light reflections I don't want to have and I deleted them. And there is another thing I had to do, and this is a color correction, because as you can clearly see at the foreground of the picture, all these things are slightly tinted into yellow and reddish or brown colors, and I don't like this because the main color should be dark and green, it's black and green and a little bit of white. So I do a color correction to remove this, and also as you can see I cut both sides to get a better center frame of the picture. And yeah, that's pretty much it is. The last thing I have to do is spot picking to remove dust and scratches and so, but you can only see this if you really get zoomed in wide, and you probably not will notice if I didn't do that. Oh, it feels much better to me. And also I want to add here a slightly more dark area, so you have a better contrast from dark to the light point here. So yeah, the complete image looks like this. And maybe this film footage isn't good in quality, so I will show you the picture now solo. Okay, this is pretty much everything I had to say for this time. I hope you like our first making of video from our figure photo sessions. There will be some more in the future, I think, especially if we go outdoor to shoot something. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Gives you a little background information about how we work and how the picture was done. Until then, see you next time for a pure win figure photo.